Welcome back to the Alien Spaceship Talk Show podcast. And in case you're just joining us, you're listening to the Alien Spaceship Talk Show podcast with Emmy, Hikins, and Trevor.
Facing the sun, so we get the warmth, we get the ability to grow things and so on. The other half, we're away from the sun. So again, it's cooler, and of course we're talking of summer and winter. And of course, Southern Hemisphere, Australia and co, they have their summer when we have our winter. So they have Christmas summers down there because that's facing the sun. Now the point of what faces the sun of the Earth is that it creates the seasons. We have spring, summer, autumn, and winter. Yeah. As the Earth goes round again on its own axis and in relation to the sun, because we're off perpendicular, then different parts of the Earth get different or very necessary amounts of sunshine and warmth in that way. So it creates the seasons, which in turn means we can grow food and all those other things. Life would be, if we didn't have that tilt, half of the Earth would always be facing the sun, which would make it unlivable because of the heat coming through on that. The other side would be far too cold, so you couldn't grow the necessary food. So these days it's reckoned to be very much a Goldilocks zone situation, like the one of the position of the Earth as well. So yeah, we need to, and when we think about it, we could say, well, I know we don't do religion, we don't do politics, we don't really get into, is there a creator behind this? I mean, many millions of people believe there is. Some say no, it's just coincidence that these things came about. In other words, two Goldilocks zone situations. You could say the odds against that are massive. That, it's all too incredibly clever so that complex life could be produced from this carbon-based universe. And this one planet here, us, actually can support complex life where it emerged because of its exact position in relation to the sun, and this very strange bit of luck that a collision not only gave us a moon, which also has its benefits to us. It affects the tides, for example, which are a good thing in other ways, but also it means we have the seasons. And if that hadn't happened, that collision, that time presumably, then we wouldn't know anything about it anyway, because we wouldn't be here. So there's all sorts of philosophical questions, aren't there, that come in to say, how do we individually view this? Many of us say, this has got to be done by design. It's too complicated and too chancy otherwise. Others might say, well, coincidences happen. What are the odds on winning the Euro Millions lottery? Well, I think they're about 145 million to 1. So long odds on something like that, but people do win it. It does happen. People can buy the lucky ticket. So long odds don't necessarily mean that something can't or couldn't have happened on its own. But I think generally you could say that there are pretty large amounts of evidence. There's a lot more to this creation than perhaps we ever are able to put our minds to. Maybe it's all too big and complex for us to really grasp, as we've seen with these numbers, sizes of stars and so on. So really, that's it. That's the life-giving star that we call our sun. Wow. We talked about it before, didn't we, about colours, because I think we talked about the fact that colours don't really exist. It's just what our brains interpret the sun's light rays. Yeah. Because out of the sun, you get all the colours of the electromagnetic spectrum, or the colours of the rainbow, but coming out together, they come out as white. So if you see a photograph of the sun from a spaceship, for example, it will be white. But sometimes we get photos from the Earth from these amazing telescopes, and it looks for all the world like a nicely burning red fire. But it's not really red. That's the effect of the atmosphere on the light waves and how our brain sees it. Wow. So incredible stuff incredible stuff the sun is and this life is. We're here either by a complete stroke of luck and we might never have happened, or we are the brains of this universe. We are observing this universe, finding out more about it, about ourselves in the process. Whether we've talked about aliens before, are there other life forms in the universe? Well, the chances are we could say probably yes. I noticed the other day that NASA wants to use one of the spacecraft that's going around the Earth. I don't know how many there are, but to try and find out more about something that's been traveling. They discovered in July quite a big thing traveling for billions of years, and it's going to pass us, between us and the sun, I think in the next few days. And they wanted to try and get something near it to photograph it to see.
We're going to take a short break now. We're back shortly. You've been listening to the Alien Spaceship Talk Show with Trevor and Emmy Hikins. The Alien Spaceship Talk Show podcast is looking for sponsors. If you're a company out there looking to spread the word about the products and services you provide, please get in touch with Deepstuff Radio Podcast on info@deepstuffrecords.com, or to use the contact form on our website to contact us, please visit radio.deepstuffrecords.com. Also, if you're looking to get involved on the Alien Spaceship Talk Show podcast, reach out via our Deepstuff Radio Facebook page. Thank you.